Hi guys, I wanted to do this video even though I'm not really sure how it's gonna come out. And it is the worst books that I read in 2020. It's hard for me to do a video like this because I so very easily DNF books. So if I don't like it, if I have an issue with it, I'm so comfortable just closing it and never thinking about it again. So I think throughout this video what I want to do is I kind of want to have, I don't know which corner it will be in, but I'm going to kind of have a flash of all of the books I've DNF'd in 2020. I think that could be kind of funny. But having said that, I did actually read a fair amount of like 2.5 star books. So those will be my worst, even though I liked them enough to get through them, obviously. I didn't DNF them, but they did not rate very high. So there are just a handful here. I will go through them now. The Promises She Keeps by Erin Healy. Can't even tell you what it was about now, and that's probably going to be common for most of these, but yeah, that one was weird. It's apparently supposed to be Christian fiction, but I did not see any evidence of that in this book, but whatever. The Pink Bonnet by Liz Tolsma. This one is written by a Christian author, and it had to do with the Tennessee Children's Home. Is that what it was called? So there's this series where, this book series, where each book kind of goes through a real historical event, but puts a fiction story that plays out through this real historical event. Does that make sense? So this one was a retelling of that. Not a retelling. It's just historical fiction, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, I didn't care for that one. The biggest issue I had with that one was it had to do with this mother who is in hard times, and her child gets taken from her and put into this home, and she can't find her child, and then she comes across this lawyer who's willing to help her, and throughout the whole thing they start having a romance, and I'm like, she's grieving, she's frantic trying to find her child. I don't think she would have space in her mind and in her heart and in her emotions to be falling in love with someone. I don't know. Maybe that's being judgmental. I don't know. I've never been in that situation, so I guess I can't really say, but it just didn't feel genuine to me. Petrified by Dean Marnie. I read this one as part of my childhood rereads. Apparently I read this one as a kid and I didn't really remember it at all, so when I read it again I was like, whoa, this is like a weird book. So there was that one. The Blue Castle by L.M. Montgomery I read because so many people say it's their favorite, but I did not like it at all. I don't have anything to say. I got nothing for you guys. Sorry. Just didn't like it. Julie of the Wolves, which was another reread, childhood reread by Jean Craighead George. This one I just didn't like. I don't know if it was the pacing. It was in first person, so I don't know if that threw me off. It did, I don't know, kind of portray wolves in a way that I don't think is accurate, because she like becomes one with the wolves. It's not a fantasy story. It's meant to be realistic, but she gets included in the pack. I don't know, weird. The Toll, which is the trilogy finale of Arc of a Scythe by Neil Shusterman. I really enjoyed the first two books and did not enjoy this last book. It went in a way different direction that it should have gone. It just went weird, and then at first I thought there were biblical parallels that I could see, and then and then those weren't panning out the more I read as a parallel. So then I was like, okay, maybe it's just not a parallel, maybe it's just its own story. Okay, continue on. It's just weird, and it just went in. I can't really say why I don't like it because it's a spoiler then, but just went into a direction that I didn't feel like it should have gone. Other Stories and The Horse You Rode In On was actually the first book I read in 2020, and I was so upset. On my Instagram I was like, this is a 0-star book, I don't get it. Yeah, so it's just short stories, and I thought at some point they would like lead into each other or have some kind of common thread throughout them all, because each of them felt so incomplete, and I thought, okay, well, this author's writing this one, the next author writes the next one, maybe at the end something brings it all together and it makes sense. No, just no. So the next one is Seagrass Pier by Colleen Coble, which is the lowest rated Colleen Coble I've read so far. Honestly, I think I've read like 4 or 5 of Colleen Coble's books, and they kind of start all meshing together because they have a very similar formula. So I don't really remember what this one's about. The next one is One Little Lie by Colleen Coble. I guess these are both the lowest rated Colleen Coble ones. One Little Lie I remember a little bit more because it started off talking about this young girl in a cult, and I thought, all right, this is a different perspective. Haven't read about cults before. And then, no. She leaves the cult in like at the end of the first chapter, is it the prologue, and then the rest of the book is nothing about that. So I don't know. The Siren Song by Mary Weber. This one I might be a little bit harsh on. Maybe it doesn't deserve to be in this video. I don't know. But there were a few issues I did have with it, and it kind of just brought the whole thing down because it's a Christian author, but the way she wrote the romance just felt, it felt like we needed to go as close to the line and really like massage the line without crossing it, but kind of crossing it. But I don't know. Again, maybe I'm just being too hard on it. The fantastical part, the magical part of that was good. So that's why I think maybe there's more good than bad in it. I don't know. The last one I have is The Guinevere Deception by Kirsten White. This is a recent read for me, and it's getting its low rating. It's actually supposed to be like a King Arthur twist retelling thing, but for me, I felt that it was really challenging and distorting God's view of sexuality and marriage. So I couldn't get past that, and therefore I could never recommend it to anyone. So, and then of course the regular part of the story was very formulaic as a YA fantasy type thing. So yeah, those are my worst reads of the year. I'm sorry if I mentioned any of your favorites. I really am sorry. But we all have our own tastes, right? And that our differences is what makes life interesting. And let me know what was your worst read, full read, not your DNF. What was your worst full read of 2020? Let me know in the comments below. And yeah, guess we'll see what everyone else says. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!